Do you want to lay your deck out?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
I know Reaping Angel is changing because he talked about it on our stream when we had him. When we had him on, but I don't know what the new one does.
I don't remember.
I think it's very similar.
That was like a month and a half ago. And
my deck is like just Revenges and Dudes. Single call upon their realms for the opener. A bunch of one-ofs because of the Angel. So you can like have access to them. I guess I had 2 Shepherd of Lost Souls, but they didn't turn out to be very good. I probably wouldn't play this in another version because I never had any problem like generating card advantage.
He did say also that because the new attack rules force countering, you can take advantage of removal through attacking now. So
right, yeah, I just couldn't that game because you can't like run your men into Titan.
Yeah,
just 2-for-1s every time. Or I guess it's like a 1-for-0 every time you do that.
Yeah.
So I was actually pretty impressed with this card.
Yeah, I think Blood Chains is really good.
It seems good. I mean, Anchornaut we've talked about a bunch. Chant is okay, though knowing now that it has exhaust on it, I'm way down on it.
I think it's probably not a 3-of anymore, but maybe I'm wrong. It's probably just fine as a 1-of. Like, you probably have enough tempo as a 1-of in it.
I wouldn't play 1-of. I mean, you're essentially like playing a card that does 3 damage to a Phoenixborn conditionally as a 1-of.
Well, how many activations do you think you get? Because you're going to basically, yeah, I mean, each version.
Game 1 I did a bunch,
right?
But game 2 I did 2 damage with it.
Right.
So if the floor is 2 damage, I'm not going to play a 1-of. Like, and I think on average it's because we've shown that you play essentially 3 or 4 rounds. Like, it caps at 3 unless you do some dorky stuff to like turn it back on.
I think in order to maximize the use of status tokens off of that, right, you'd have to be playing stuff that has low enough dice costs.
I do agree with you, New Math, that assuming I'm not running into a Titan, just trading the 2-1s off this guy is probably really good.
And I think that you just have to have enough time that you can play enough different main actions that are cheap enough that you can make sure you can get all 3 side actions before your opponent passes. Because that's also kind of a risk. Like, your opponent could go, oh, well.
I always used all of them easily.
Sure.
Because they have exhaust on them, I think they're bad. And I think you're always going to get exactly 3 damage, assuming you play them in the first round.
And Math is saying he'd play Frostbite every time I get a chance over Chant. Obviously, those are in different...
Right. I agree with you. I think that...
But Frostbite has the reduction, right? It has the reduction in cost when you get second copy.
It still costs a dice.
But it's a basic die.
Because this only goes to Phoenixborn... Like, when you used to be able to trade this for guys, it was super good. Because Frostbite takes an action and a dice, but Old Chant didn't.
Right.
It didn't take an action or a dice, so that was what like made the breaker. But this seems slow and bad.
So Math is saying also that he would even play Royal Charm over Chant if you are in Divine, as that can get 1 damage in as well. I mean,
I like the card that does like 1 to your guy and 1 to their guy also.
Yeah,
I mean, I think this deck is a pile.
Okay.
The only thing literally the only thing this deck did, it could have been like this plus 24 other cards, and it would have done essentially the same thing.
Sure.
I guess these are like half a card because it allowed me to do a little bit of surgery, but I'm pretty sure that if you just played this and like at least 6 of these, any other cards I put in here would function extremely similarly to how the games played out last game.
Sure.
But I would have the advantage of like maybe just having some better men.
I mean, I think if you go, like we said, if you went Nature, you could go, if you paired it with Nature, you could go with the Frostbite, but you'd also have access then to Hammer Knight, which is also a reasonably powerful unit for the deck to be playing with.
Playing a Hammer Knight and an Ancestral Army in the same turn is kind of like...
It's expensive.
Difficult to do. Like, that's your whole turn.
Yeah. It would be expensive, for sure.
But, I mean, I think that card's good, obviously.
I mean, but that's where you can. I mean, that's where ceremonial's always been so powerful, was in kind of its low to the ground, low cost units, low dice expense units. But divine also gives you access to the mounts, as Math was talking about. So you could, like he was saying, you could mount Ancestral Army, which is also pretty strong.
The problem with that is that actually bouncing and replaying this guy is not as effective if you can't replace, because essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to play this guy, fill up 3 of my slots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to mount him, return him my hand, still have 3 guys in play, and then
he sits under the mount. He sits under the mount until the mount dies. So you still end up with, like, if you play like Archosaurus mount, I think you end up with a 4/5 on the board. So you end up with 8 power on the board. I mean, you literally have 8 power on the board. So
right, but you could do that with anything. Like, I mean, we're spending 7 dice or 6 dice in that case. So if you can't make 8 power with 6 dice, like, what are you doing?
I'm not sure I can think of 8 power for 6 dice. I mean, somebody else can kick in on this, but
I just think that, like, I hope that when they redo Rimea, if she's one that's getting remade, that this number increases. That will, like, just blank her text.
Sure.
Give her a spellboard of 2 and a battlefield of 6.
Sure. I mean,
that would make her way better with this as her loyalty card, because this is what attracts me to her, is the Ancestral Army, not her ability.
Sure.